Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa, this is Lost My Thread, and we are back with yet another Clash of the Pattern series. This time it is the bag dress bust up. Going to be a quick one because they're such quick, easy, simple designs. I felt like I could cover it all in just one video. I gotta say, I had a hard time picking a name for this one. There were a good few options going around. I thought about calling it the Brawling Bin Bags, or the Garbage Bag Grapple, the Trash Bag Tournament, or the Refuse Sack Rumble. But I think the bag dress bust up is the right one to go for. So I've been thinking about making this kind of dress for a while using some really easily available, inexpensive materials. I actually managed to get a roll of these from my Budgens, my local Budgens. I got 10 of these for £1.50, which is pretty good going. And they're a decent size. These are black, pretty reflective, you know, as you would expect for this kind of bag dress. And I wouldn't usually go for this kind of material because it's very synthetic, it's not very breathable, but the style of the dresses that I was looking at, they were very open, very loose, relaxed fit, and I felt like they could be pretty airy, and I'm hoping they'll be pretty comfortable. So I picked out two patterns that are in this bag style design using this kind of material. They're very similar, but I'm going to tell you the key differences between them. The first one I'm going to tell you about is called the Trish Bag Dress, and it's by the April Folds Pattern Company. Now, this one is a very boxy shape overall. There are very minimal pattern pieces, which is always a bonus. So you do print off a PDF pattern for the neck holes and for the sleeves or the armholes, but you do get quite a lot of variety for this one. So there are 4 different neck hole options. There's a scoop neck, there is a square neck, there is quite a deep V neck, and there is also a sweetheart neckline, which I thought was a cute option. I wouldn't have necessarily thought of that one. Like I said, very minimal pattern pieces. The price of this one is really reasonable as well. It's only 50p for all these pieces, which I think is great as far as the amount of variety that you're going to get. The next one to tell you about is the little black sack dress, and this one is by JK Patterns. Again, very similar style and shape and silhouette, but this is actually a free tutorial, so you don't have to pay. Amazing. And this is actually something they call their punch and go design. So you actually just punch your way through to create the necklines and the armholes. Because you're not cutting anything out, this is actually a zero waste pattern as well, which is always a bonus. Now I have to say, this punch and go concept, it's a great idea, but I didn't know how easy it was actually going to be. So I did film so that I could show you guys what it was like actually punching my way through to get the neck hole and to get the armholes. Not gonna lie, it wasn't easy. I actually had to have 2 attempts. The first time I couldn't actually get my head through the plastic. It was actually quite sturdy. I think the ones that I'm using are pretty good, decent bags, so it was tricky to get my head through. So I had to completely abort that one, and then I just gave myself a little starting point by cutting a little tiny hole in the center the next time, and I managed to punch through pretty easily. I think punching through the arms was a little bit more of a challenge, but it was easier than trying to get my head through. I have to say, this one does absolutely wreck your hair, so be aware you're gonna have to do your hair after you put this dress on, rather than the other way around. The Trish bag, I did actually enjoy the process of opening up these holes. This type of material cuts super easily. The scissors just kind of glide through it. Really easy to get the shapes that you wanted and really straightforward to make. I do think they're both really quick projects. I think I made both of these in probably about 5 minutes, so it's not as if this is going to be an epic thing if you wanted to have a go at both of them, to be honest. As far as some of the specific design elements, I really did like that V neckline that I managed to get from the little black bag dress. I think because I gave myself that little cut at the top, it just allowed it to open up in that way, and I think that's a really flattering neckline. I also really love the shoulders that you get on that one. It's quite a strong, almost like a built-in shoulder pad effect that you get on that one, which I think is really nice. It feels very powerful, I have to say. Whereas the neckline on the Trish bag dress, I mean, I did have options obviously, and I went for the scoop neckline, but I just feel like it's okay. It's not like leaping out at me as anything particularly stand out. But one thing I will say is because you cut into the neckline, that actually creates some small cuts in the sections that then poke out at the shoulders. And that created a really interesting little, almost like a little cutout section in the shoulder, which I thought was a cute, unexpected detail. I didn't spot that on the pattern design. And then from the bust line down, these are basically going to be the same fit and shape and everything. They're very boxy, very loose, as I knew. They were shorter than I was expecting, I gotta be honest. I think it's gonna depend on the size of the bag and the size of you. I'm 5'6", so just to give you a bit of a proportion there. But I have to say these are shorter than I would probably feel comfortable in the day-to-day, and I don't really think these are gonna be appropriate for work. I think picking a winner is fairly easy for me. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Little Black Sack Dress by JK Patterns. This one just had a lot going for it. It was free. You didn't have to cut out any pattern pieces. It was a simple DIY kind of thing. I mean, it was a little bit tricky to get it going, but once you get going, you end up with this really cool, really fierce little black bag dress look, which I loved. Let me know if you would ever think about making any of these kinds of bag dresses. Leave me a comment down below if you've made one before. I will, of course, put some links in the description box if you want to find out a little bit more about these patterns and how to make these yourself. Give me a like if you enjoyed my video today. Think about subscribing if you want to see a little bit more of these kinds of videos, all kinds of videos in the future. One thing I almost forgot to say, April Fools. Bye!